gambling show on the internet. This is the home of the money pick. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you subscribe. Week 16 upsets to bet. Last week we had a banger. We had the Bills, but I'm not counting that as the upset. But our big scalp we got was moving Tampa from +3 to -5. That's what we're in this for. Let's get this money. Let's hit some long shots. First game, we got Tampa at the Dallas Cowboys. Tampa's -4. I get it. It's an upset show. But it's also a long shot show. Why do we need to pick an underdog just to pick an underdog? I'm going to bring this Tampa -4 to -9.5. And listen, I was saying all last week, you guys know I love the Chargers. The Chargers have been an absolute gravy train for us. Like, let's be honest about it, but we can't get emotional about these picks. And all last week, I was very clear. I said the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are a top 5 offense, and you saw what they did to a very good Chargers defense. We're looking at a Cowboys secondary. They can't cover anyone, and you do worry about the Cowboys pass rush. Whenever Micah Parsons is involved in a game, you worry, especially if you're a quarterback, especially if you need the offense to be explosive. But I do think this Bucs offensive line is a very good unit. I do think the Buccaneers will run the ball well, but this is more about a Dallas secondary that hasn't covered anyone all year, and I don't see them starting. And you're looking at a Cowboys offense, man. They've been very basic, and I know I had to take a big pie in my face about the Panthers pick last week. I get it, but then again, what am I really wrong about the Cowboys? So I'll give you my list. Cooper Rush is throwing the ball faster than any quarterback in this league. It's coming out fast because the offensive line can't block. He doesn't make progressions down the field. And outside of CeeDee Lamb, who's going to get open? We want to see more Turpin. You remember the player prop on Thanksgiving. We don't really see a lot of him. And outside of that, are you going to get Brandon Cooks getting separation? And against the Buccaneers, you have to throw the ball. If you don't throw the ball, you're going to have problems because the Bucs secondary is the main weakness of this team, and you're not going to run the ball against the Bucs defense. A big part of this Cowboys renaissance has been running it with Dowdle. It's helped the bad offensive line in terms of pass blocking. When you go forward, when you bang ahead, obviously it makes your offensive line look better. But against the Bucs, I think they're a top 5 run-stopping unit in the league. We know the secondary stinks. I just don't think Cooper Rush is the guy to get it done. Todd Bowles is not going to have this defense come out flat-footed. We have a lot of issues with him. He doesn't understand game theory. Hell, he wouldn't even be good playing against your teenager in Madden. But I do think he's built for this game, and I go back to the original point. I like the -9.5. I like the Bucs alt lines. Like, you guys know I don't alt every single team, but if you're going to alt a team, the Bucs are that team. They go for the jugular, they go for the neck, and I think they slam Dallas -9.5 Bucs. Next game, we got the Minnesota Vikings at the Seattle Seahawks. Hawks +3. Listen, I like the under more in this game. If you want to bet this game, look at the under. But what the market is telling us, the market's being very clear and frank with us. The market's telling us Geno Smith is going to play. And obviously, this is a terrible matchup for Geno Smith. The Hawks offensive line hasn't blocked anyone this year. Geno Smith has actually been very good when he's protected, even though some of the red zone picks are just reprehensible and there's no defense. You can't blame the offensive line. But even with that being said, this is a terrible matchup for Geno Smith. I also think this is a terrible matchup for Sam Darnold. And I've made it really clear, especially in the prop videos. We know when to ride Darnold and we know when to fade him. And I think this is a situation to fade him. Sam Darnold is a top 5 quarterback when he doesn't have pressure. When he has pressure, he's a bottom 5 quarterback. And I think that's a component in this game. I think the Seahawks defense has turned into a pretty good unit. They're attacking more. They're blitzing more. They're getting more pressure with their front 4. And I think that changes the component of this game. I don't expect Geno Smith to do well. I think he'll play. I think he'll fight through it. But I also don't expect the Vikings offense to do a whole lot. I think this will be a defensive battle. I think it'll be a gritty game. Obviously, don't go run and bet this now. If Geno's cleared to play, maybe this goes down to like plus 2.5, maybe. But the market's telling us Geno's gonna play, and I do think the Seahawks getting another punch at NFC North team will help them. Also, I don't want to get too dramatic about the Packers game because the first half, the Seahawks defense was terrible. But we got to tip the cap to LaFleur. But you saw in the second half how they fought, how they got stops, and that this has transformed into a pretty good defense. Give me the Hawks money line here. I'm just getting against Sam Darnold in this situation. The Vikings have been phenomenal, and I do think my Vikings will be dangerous in the playoffs. I just don't love this spot. Next game, we got the New England Patriots at the Buffalo Bills. Patriots plus 14.5. Patriots money line. I'm joking. But I do think there's something we can do here with the Patriots spread. I think we can bring this down to 9.5, 8.5. 9.5 will be the official pick. If you went down to 7.5, I wouldn't smug my nose. Now, the Patriots were terrible against the Cardinals. I felt like Drake May did what he normally does. He makes plays. He plays better than people think, and he's going to do that again against the Bills. I do think this is a bad spot for the Bills. I said it against the Rams. I love them against Detroit. I do feel like this is a little bit of a bad spot. I do think there will be nasty weather. I do think we'll see some wind. I looked at the forecast today. Someone can check it. I checked it earlier in the morning when I woke up. And I think when you get bad weather conditions, when you got gigantic point spreads like this, they're tougher to cover. And I think the Patriots can keep this within a touchdown. This is a Bills defense that gave up 2 straight 40-point games. They get Matt Milano back 2 or 3 weeks ago, and you think, okay, this Bills defense is going to get into playoff mode. They're going to get serious. We're not going to see bad performances like they put up against Miami earlier in the year. Well, not really. We haven't seen that transformation, and I think the Patriots will be able to run the ball just a little bit. We know the Patriots' offensive line is horrendous, but when they've ran it decently this year, that's when we've seen Drake May's most explosive games. And I think we see enough plays out of Drake May to keep this close. Now, I'm not saying the Patriots are going to go in there and win the game. I'm not saying Josh Allen is going to have a bad game. This Patriots defense has been very selective this year. Like, I think the unit is probably worse than you guys, but they have been selective this year. They've had good performances. They have maybe like 3 or 4 good performances. The rest has been absolutely shit. So I think there's a high variance in terms of what Patriots defense shows up. I do think the Patriots can be competitive against the run, and I think that's the big thing you need to do against the Bills. We can talk about Josh Allen. We can talk about Shakir playing awesome. We can talk about the tight ends. But if Josh Allen has a run game, it's just impossible to stop them. Ask Detroit, but their whole defensive line was out. So in this game, man, I do think the division battle makes this a little bit closer. I do think the Patriots having nothing to lose makes this a little bit closer. I do think this game getting near the end of the year makes it a little bit closer. Give me the Patriots. I'm going 14.5 to 9.5. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. Listen, the song is by a guy named Connection. He's been a longtime subscriber. He's supposed to release his album in January. I will get more information to you guys when he gives me it. Like, he's delayed this release 2 or 3 years. So this is a message to him. I'll get in contact with him. I was in contact with him in October. So I'll get at him and I'll get you guys the name of the song. Make sure you hit the like button. Make sure you share the videos. The best gambling show on the internet. And it's not my fault. He's the one who hasn't released the song yet. I'm not withholding or sandbagging anyone.
Get about how many days it gonna take? You switch on me and I ain't get a break. If I hop off, then the levee gon' break. If I take 2, then I'm off into space. Put all that down, pour all that out. I'm done without, we on the now. Step after step, day by the day. Live for the night and I'm never gon' break. Yeah.
Step by step by step by step. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Step by step by step by step. Left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Moving forward on the glory, up and onward, write the story. Little further, I can see it. We will be there before you know.
This life can get you down, down, down.
Just keep yourself around.